Hi everyone, it's Sunday, September 13th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So last week was a short one in many regions, and that's because of the various holidays that were being celebrated. But that really doesn't mean that there weren't some significant price changes across the board. That said, let's start with Europe, because they saw quite a few selections increase there. Editor Andrea Guolo reports that while there was not a large volume of business concluded, sellers were definitely able to get their asking prices. Starting with the UK ox 36 and up, the weakening of the pound against the euro made these hides more attractive, and that pushed up the price, making it 75 to 80 cents per kilo in sterling. On the contrary, for Ireland, the equivalent in euros should be 80 cents for the same selections, but actually, they're stuck at 70 cents in euros for the Irish selections of comparable kind. European bull markets have seen some substantial increases, and those are driven more by low slaughter due to the continuing hot weather than from anything else. So let's look at the southern German selections, for example, which in July were 80 cents. They popped up to 90 cents in August, and now they're selling for €1.10. That's a jump in value of about 37% in a fairly short time. Cows also continue to strengthen, and some origins are now twice what they were at their lowest point. In his analysis this week, Andrea looks at what's going on with these higher prices, the latest developments in various destinations, and he looks ahead to Lineapel. That's expected to have a very different look this year, and he gives us a preview of what's expected there. Turning to South America, editor Ronald Guiel tells us that prices are higher. Fresh hides jumped 23% over the past 2 weeks, and they're now selling at 63 cents in reals per kilo. This increase has now affected the price of TR1, which has risen to 60 cents per square foot. In news from Brazil, there was a bright spot this week because the August Brazilian hide exports were up 20% in value over July. And while it was still 14% below the same month last year, it's an important trend of another monthly increase, and that's indicating that perhaps there's a start of a recovery for the market. It was also about the same percentage increase in terms of square meters, too. In other news in Brazil, Inspira had a positive outcome from its first fully digital edition with about 40,000 visits. In other news from Latin America, Argentina is undertaking an effort to improve sustainability of its cattle and beef chain. Mexico's leather footwear sales in June were down by 48%, and Paraguay will now have a new refrigerator backed by 100% Paraguayan capital. Turning to the United States, it might have been a short week here too, but there were few offers and prices were up again on the popular steer selections. Packers aren't willing to push positions out any further at this point, so it's not realistic to expect to buy at lower prices right now. Supplies were again limited for regular weight heavy Texas steers, so they gained $1 once again. 62, 64-pound selections sold for between $20 and $22. Slaughter for the week through Saturday, September 12th was down because of the Labor Day holiday, and that totaled 574,000. With regard to export sales, the number was again low, mainly because of the lack of hides available for sale. Total sales were 490,800, and that's down just about 8,000 hides from the previous week. Combined shipments, however, were down by 17% at 428,600. And once again, this is far below slaughter. In our observations this week, we take a look at what's been going on with cow selections recently and what has driven some of the increase and what a real improvement might look like. So that's all we have for today. And until next week, good night from HideNet.